Anyway, let's get on with the review. First off, this is a sheet metal safe. There is no fire rating of any kind. It's sheet metal. It keeps the bad guys from getting to your guns quickly or easily. But it is not the most secure thing in the world. Given somebody enough time, they could get into this and your stuff will not be protected much in the way of a fire. So be aware of that. Now, in most cases, simply making it tougher to get to your items is all the deterrent you need, because for the most part, thieves want to grab what they can grab in a quick fashion and get off with it, and this will prevent that. Anyway, it did come with some mounting hardware to mount this securely to the wall, and that all seems really good. I do think this would be a good deterrent against, thieves that are, showing up maybe where you're gone for a couple of hours, something like that. If somebody knew you were on vacation and they had some time, this would not be very hard to defeat with an angle grinder and a cutting wheel, because it is just sheet metal, and it's not super thick sheet metal. I don't know what the actual thickness is. I would guess probably 16 gauge or so. So it's not heavy duty, and it doesn't have a fire rating. But it's going to not do enough to deter somebody stealing from them. It's better than having them under your bed in a plastic case or laying up in a corner in your closet. This is actually carpeted nice on the inside, and that's nice. And it's got carpeting here, and it's got the pistol pouches. It does have a built-in light. It doesn't work great, but it works well enough you can see the stuff you're grabbing. So there are some good features here. So if you look, I'm gonna touch right now. It was fast. It was fast enough that I'm not complaining. The back rifle rest, if you want to call them that, there's these pieces of, it's like stamped out sheet metal back, and it's got this foam insert, and the foam sticks proud of the sheet metal a little bit on each side, and basically that gives you a friction fit. That's the only thing holding these in. All right, we're set up a little bit closer, and the first thing I'll say is, it is nice that this is a smaller safe. As you can see, I have it tucked between my dresser and the corner of the wall. If you have a large collection, this will not work for you unless it's as a secondary safe, which is kind of the way I'm using it, because I have a much bigger safe, because there's no way what I have will fit in this little guy right here. But it's big enough to throw some stuff in, and in this case, I'm kind of almost using it as a bump in the night gun holder in some ways. Other ways, it's also just some things I thought I'd throw in there. Also, as part of the review, I kind of wanted to throw a random sampling of guns in there so you can see how different guns work. This bottom section is a part that's considered to be the safe. This top part they list as a lockbox, as a secondary lockbox. The lockbox is only accessible by a key. The safe is accessible in 3 ways: key, keypad, and fingerprint. So that is impressive given the price point. I keep the keys in here because between the keypad and the finger pad, I feel like that's all I need. Although maybe I'll stash one of these in a different safe just to be on the safe side. The safe side for a safe. Yeah, funny. Yeah, I might take one of these spare keys and go throw it in my other gun safe. And then I liked keeping them here just because if I want to get in this upper lockbox, they're right here, and then I can then get in the upper lockbox. I do have some pistols thrown in the upper lockbox, but it's not necessarily considered a safe, although the interior is pretty much the same. You can meet the capacity standard, but you're going to work at it. And I will tell you, I do have 6 long guns in here right now, but I will not keep 6 long guns in here. It's too much, it's too tight, and everything's rubbing against each other, which I don't like because it's bad on your finishes and whatnot. But I stuffed 6 long guns in here to prove it can be done. And then along with that, you've got 2 pistol pouches on the door. And then you do have an upper and a lower. Let me move this a little bit to make this a little easier to see. You do have an upper magazine or whatever other stuff you want to throw in their pouch. And up here I have spare pistol pouches. Like this is for my M&P 45. This is one of my go-to guns. It's got a loaded mag in it and then a spare loaded mag, because if things were to get crazy. I want it to be readily available. And then just for fun, I put my Kimber long slide target 10mm with a little bit of custom work and custom grips that I actually made myself out of dyed maple burl. Those I've got in there, and the door pockets. Now all the way down here at the bottom, don't know how well it can be seen, but there is a secondary kind of magazine door. All my rifle mags are in there because if you put them in this top one, they are too tall and you cannot close the door of the safe. So obviously that doesn't work. So they have to go down this bottom one. The downside is the lip on this bottom one's rather short. I'll get some B-roll of that and put it up here in the corner. And it's really easy. You could pretty much shake it and just about get the mags to fall out. So that's kind of a downside. The only magazine spot that's tall enough is down low, and they don't hold them very securely. Now, as far as long guns in the safe, let's just see what I got in here and how it fits. I have 2 AR style guns in here. Well, let's just start taking them out. So stuff kind of in the front, not all the way against the back like it should be, just fit in there because once again, I was trying to fit 6 long guns in here because they said you can't. So I went with a super skinny one. This is a Kel-Tec Sub 2000 Gen 3 and 9mm. That wasn't even in a regular spot. It was kind of just stuck in front of them, turned sideways, because that was the only way that was fitting in there, and it's not going to live in here. And like I said, I did a variety of guns, so you can kind of see that if you had a variety of guns, how they would fit. If you went to all, single shot shotguns or real skinny like lever action 22s, I think you could fit 6 long guns in here rather easily and comfortably, but that's just not the case with me. Next up, just because it's in the middle and easiest to get out, I do have an SBR AR in 300 Blackout, and this is one of my, bump in the night guns. Anyway, that's in there. Next up, I do have my Century Arms AP5 MP5 clone, and this is SBR'd as well with a stock. So I've got that in there. And reach way over, because if you're gonna go defend your home at night, you need a shotgun, right? So I've got my Beretta A300 Ultima Patrol 12 gauge. And then I've got a couple bigger rifles. I've got a PSA Jackal chambered in 5.56, 14.5 inch barrel, pin and weld ASR flash hider. I love this rifle. It runs great. It's like the Scar on a budget, but performs right along with the Scar if you watch the reviews. It's a pretty incredible gun, especially for the price point. And last but certainly not least, my Ruger-made Marlin 1895 SBL chambered in 4570 government. The only government I trust, or whatever cheesy lines people say, which is silly. Anyway, so that's 6 long guns in there.